Beef stroganoff has its roots in Russia, where it was created for the influential Stroganoff family before becoming a comfort food favorite around the world. I'm pairing ground beef in a creamy mushroom sauce with smashed potatoes instead of noodles and adding a dollop of horseradish sour cream for a lively burst of flavor that complements every bite. Broccoli completes the plate. Hi, I'm Elizabeth. On this channel, we'll start by cooking a meal together. At the end, we'll sit down and count the carbs. I'd love for you to join me. Let's get started. I always prepare my fresh broccoli with a hypertonic solution of water and salt. It's science. It's osmosis. It gets those little critters that don't need to be there out of the florets. I feel better knowing that I'm biting into vegetables and nothing else. I'm using tricolored mini potatoes. Use whatever kind you like. I quarter and rinse. Boil for approximately 12 minutes until soft. I used an old-fashioned hand masher. I roughly smashed the finished taters. You could also leave them whole, or you could mash them, whatever you want. Rinse your mushrooms, remove the stems, and then slice. I'm slicing my onion, no dicing this time. For no tears onion cutting, check out my foolproof method. The link is in the description. Now for the one pot part. Begin with the beef, and I'm choosing ground beef just because it's simple. Turn heat up to medium-high and start chopping your meat. Then I add my emotional support seasonings of onion powder and garlic powder. Continue to periodically chop and mix. Cover. About halfway through, add your previously chopped veggies, onions, and mushrooms. Continue to chop, stir, and cover. Near completion, add a spoon or two of Jarlic. When finished, drain your meat mixture. I used an 80-20 mix, so there was some grease involved. Add your drained meat back into the pan and continue on with the sauce. Add a couple tablespoons of butter, a couple tablespoons of cornstarch, mix well. Slowly add in beef broth, stir, and let this begin to thicken over a medium heat. Add in a couple tablespoons of mustard, layer with more seasonings. Of course, more garlic and onion powder. Italian seasoning. Add pepper. And salt. Reduce your heat and let it simmer and continue to thicken. It wouldn't be stroganoff without the sour cream, but let's spice it up a bit. Add a dollop of the sour cream into a small bowl, then add horseradish to taste. Finish it off with salt and pepper. Give it a taste test. You can always add more horseradish if it's not quite enough, but you can't take it back once it's in there. After your broccoli has soaked in the salt water for about 15 to 20 minutes, rinse it and then steam it in the microwave. Easy peasy. It's time to plate this creation. If you are carb counting, measure your potatoes at this point. Add on your broccoli, then meat, veggies, and sauce. Top it off with a zesty dollop of sour cream. mix it all together, and enjoy. This one has always been a dinner winner for my family. Before I begin the actual carb count, let me say that I am not a medical professional. I am just a human being who happens to wear my pancreas in my pocket. I also happen to have years of living with type 1 diabetes. I was diagnosed in 1964. If you do have a medical question, please consult your diabetic care team. Let's take a look at the carb count for this dish. There will be some math involved, but don't worry, it's not that hard. So the bulk of the carbs in this one came with the potatoes, and that was 18 grams of carbs. And I also kept out the broccoli, which was 6 grams. I just kept that separate. And then the gravy with the vegetables that were in that and the meat, that came out to another 8 grams of carbohydrates. You add those together and you come out with 32 grams of carbohydrates per serving. Once you have your final carbohydrate count for your serving, you will need to divide this number by your carb ratio number. For instance, if I use my carb ratio of 1 to 15, 32 divided by 15 is equal to 2.1. And we're going to use some diabetic math here, and we're going to round that down to 2. And that would be 2 units of insulin needed to keep my blood sugar within a normal range. Happy carb counting! And remember, my fellow type 1s, counting carbs so our pancreas doesn't have to, one meal at a time.